Hello gorgeous, my name's Victoria Pearson, but you can call me V, and this is another chaos vlog. I didn't even know what I was going to be talking about until I sat down and started pressing record. I think today we are actually going to talk a little bit about imposter syndrome, yay, because that is something that I've been suffering with a lot recently. Now, if you are a regular watcher of my longs, 4 of you, then you will know that I am a virtual assistant, that I am an assistant to somebody else who also does a lot of social media, including YouTube, as a travel vlogger, primarily. One of the things that I do for them is, as well as doing their YouTube videos, I also edit their newsletter each month. And so they will send me a load of bump that needs to be sorted, and I will format it in MailChimp, and quite often I will cry while formatting it on MailChimp because MailChimp is an unusable mess and they really need to get good. But I will do this newsletter for them each month, and this month I was reading their intro and they actually mentioned me. So I got a little mention in the Barefoot Digest, which is well worth subscribing to if you are into travel related content. And they were talking about how I give them imposter syndrome, that they look at my stuff sometimes and think that I never have to struggle about what to say in the mornings. I don't really have to think about it. I just off the cuff it. And that gives them a little bit of imposter syndrome when they're sitting there struggling to write their newsletter, which is really strange because their channel gives me imposter syndrome too. They've got all these really specific niches. People know exactly what to expect from their channel. And I don't have that. I'm a little bit of a chaos thing. You know that it's going to be sort of self-care related, but who knows? It could be a witchy thing. It could be a day out. It could be something else. A couple of my friends think that I should niche down more. But to be honest, I'm too changeable of a person to be speaking about the same thing week in, week out. I just can't do it. And so that was giving me a bit of imposter syndrome because after all, I started my YouTube channel purely because I was looking to retain some of the peace that I had felt on holiday. On the day that I came back from my holiday, I thought, you know what, I want to keep slowed down. I want to keep noticing the things around me that are making me happy. And so I started doing daily gratitude practice, and I did it on YouTube to keep myself accountable for it. And that has been a brilliant thing. I've done it every single day since. It's been really, really good for my mood. It's been really good for my general optimism. But of course, it grew from there to me doing a weekly vlog where I talk to you about things that make me happy or things that I've seen in the news or bits of my spiritual practice, stuff like that. And so because I didn't go into YouTube thinking I am going to be an X type of influencer and do this type of content only, and I'm going to make sure it's all branded and it's all in my niche and it's all very cohesive, it makes me feel like I'm just kind of a kid in her mum's shoes, just running around on YouTube, making a noise and being annoying. And so, yeah, I was suffering quite a lot of imposter syndrome about it, and I very nearly got close to giving up on doing YouTube. But I'm going to plow on with it. Just because I have now decided that imposter syndrome possibly isn't real. Maybe it's just part of the human condition to compare ourselves to each other. Because if my friend is experiencing imposter syndrome from watching my videos, imposter syndrome can't possibly be a real thing. That's just silly. Another way that I have also helped my imposter syndrome recently, and I'm really not sure that a therapist or a psychologist or a doctor would recommend that you do this, but I found a way to weaponize my imposter syndrome against my imposter syndrome. I mentioned a couple of weeks ago, or maybe last week actually, that I have been asked to join in a group writing project. I'm really, really excited about it. I'm working with 3 writers whose writing I love, and I absolutely can't wait to get stuck in. But when they invited me initially, my thoughts were, oh, I'm not good enough to write with these people. We're doing a collaboration where we're writing a novel together and each of us is writing from the perspective of a particular character, and then the story will interweave with each other. We've all got a start point and end point, and the story will come together from that because Wombat is skillfully braiding it all together like the superstar that he is. My initial thoughts were, oh, but what if I ruin it? What if my writing's really poor compared to everybody else's? What if I've got the whole tone of it completely wrong? And I had quite a lot of imposter syndrome about it, but this is how I managed to use my imposter syndrome to kill my imposter syndrome. I just told myself, there is absolutely no way you are good enough at faking being a good writer to be invited onto a group project. You must therefore be quite all right at writing. And I don't know why, but that's just clicked something in my brain. I've got imposter syndrome about my ability to imposter, And it's worked really, really well for me. Now, like I said, I'm not sure that that would be a recommended way to sort out your imposter syndrome, but hey, it worked for me. And now I've got that out of the way with so that I can just be excited to be involved in the group project. Now, when we come to editing, I'm sure that when I'm receiving notes on my work and things that I will get my imposter syndrome rear its ugly head a little bit again. But now I know I can just knock it out and it'll be fine and it'll go away. And so I'm really, really looking forward to this now. And my imposter syndrome just poof, vanished. So if you are struggling, you think you faked your way into your job or your hobby or your friend group or whatever, just remember, you're not that good at faking stuff. You couldn't be an imposter. You just couldn't. You're not good enough at being an imposter to be an imposter. So therefore, you must actually be really, really good at what you do. It's so strange to me that we're all thinking that same thing all of the time. But it does make you feel a bit less lonely with it, doesn't it? So that is how I basically weaponised my imposter syndrome against my imposter syndrome, and somehow it worked out for me. So I guess my conclusion is maybe imposter syndrome isn't actually real, and it is just part of the human condition to compare yourself unfavourably to other people. I've talked before about how the story you tell yourself, the narrative that you tell yourself through the day, your internal narrator, is very much your voice and you're in control of what it says. And that is also true when you are comparing yourself to other people. And so it can be helpful to just stop yourself in the middle of that and say, nope, not doing that anymore, and go and do something else out loud if you need to, although that does make you look a bit strange if you are on the bus. I think that comparing ourselves unfavourably to other people is just part of what it means to be human, especially if you are a creative type of human. I have never once written something and been happy with it when I have finished it. I've never painted a painting and been happy with it when I have finished it. I've always felt that it's just not quite how it was in my head. And I think everyone experiences that all the time. And I think that it is just a sign that you are a creative and intelligent person, that you can do a little bit better, that you want to do a little bit better, that you've got that drive for the self-improvement all the time. But when other people look at your work and they haven't seen how it was in your head, to them it's brilliant. To them it's really, really good. It's entertaining, it's beautiful, it's poignant, whatever your aim is. People are still experiencing that when they are consuming your art. Even if you yourself are looking at it thinking, oh, that's rubbish. We're too close to our own projects sometimes. And we're also too close to our own selves sometimes. And so if you're thinking, everybody seems to think I'm really nice and I've just fooled them all, everyone thinks I'm really good at my job, but I have just faked my way in here, or somebody's offered me this opportunity and I don't feel I really earned it or really deserved it, just know that everyone feels like that all the time, and it's fine, and you do deserve it, and you can do it, and you're not that good at faking things, so you're probably actually pretty good. Like I said, not sure that is the way that people would recommend, like fully qualified people who know what they're talking about would recommend that you deal with your imposter syndrome, but you know what, it worked really well for me, so I am pleased enough with that. Now, as you know, over the last couple of years, we have talked about a lot of different self-improvement and self-help type of things. So we've talked about how to give up smoking, how to get out of debt. We've talked about daily gratitude practice. We've talked about journaling, both how to do it and different ways that you can do it. Did we talk about shadow work as well? I can't remember. I intended to. If I haven't yet, we will at some point. But if there are any particular aspects of self-care, self-improvement, or just finding you're happy that you would like me to talk about, let me know in the comments, because I would rather make a video that I know is going to help somebody, even if it is just the one person, than witter on about imposter syndrome that maybe none of you are experiencing, or you're all very aware is just a normal part of human behaviour, and that you all already know that comparison is the thief of joy, so you don't do it. Well done you if that's the case. And so, yeah, if there's anything that you would like me to talk about specifically about that, let me know, comment on it. Also, over the next few months, I've got a few different videos planned, but I'm not sure which order we're going in or when exactly they're going to happen, but I'll just let you know quickly. I will be going to see some of the writers from that group project that I talked about. I'm going with Miranda and we're driving up to Bury to see Michael Wombat. Really, really looking forward to that and hoping to make a video around the journey there and the place itself, because I've never been to Bury before, and so I'm quite excited about that. I will also be talking soon to my friend Rachel, who has written a brilliant novel, which I am so lucky that I managed to get an advance copy of, because I really enjoyed watching the story develop at the various different stages. I can't tell you too much about that because I don't want to ruin my conversation with her for you, but it is from a really unique perspective and I love books like that. So it was really good to read, and I'm looking forward to having her on to talk about it in the run up to her release of it. Got a couple of other bits and bobs planned, including some days out, but a couple of things that I can't talk to you about yet because they are also collaborations and I have to deal with the other people first. But I'm super looking forward to those too. If there is any other thing that isn't sort of self-help related that you would like me to talk about, or a place that you would like me to go, or even a challenge that you want me to give a try, then let me know. I will give it a go. Because like I said, it's not like I have a really defined and professional niche that I'm going along here. You just get whatever you get when you're watching me. And so there isn't anything that's going to be too off topic. I will be doing at some point some more witchy videos for you. So if there's particular spells that you're looking for, let me know. But also I thought I would do some altar tours where I tell you what the different things are for and what equipment you actually need for witchcraft. So that's going to be a future one as well. But if there is any particular witchy questions that you want to ask me, again, pop it in the comments. I will try and answer in a video. I'll try and answer any question that you ask me in a video, unless it's a question about OnlyFans. Please stop asking me. You're creeping out my teenagers and you're creeping me out too. Just stop commenting that, please. But apart from that, I'll answer pretty much anything that you want me to answer. And so, yeah, just comment and I will make a video about it. I will be here Monday morning, 6 a.m. UK time. Once again, not sure what I'm going to be vlogging about yet because it kind of depends what's going on this weekend and what the weather's going to be like. It has suddenly got very miserable. I was hoping for us to get outside next time, but you might be on my sofa again. You must be getting very bored of seeing myself. It's not a very aesthetic background either, is it? I have to sort of close my curtains so that you can see my face with the light behind me. But it's kind of the only place that I can sit here. Maybe at some point I will do a video about setting up a YouTube space in here, but I need to redecorate first. So you might end up with a video about that too. Who knows? I need to gather some money for that first though. I will be here next Monday, 6 a.m. UK time. It would really help me out if you are not already subscribed, if you would subscribe so that you can see my next video, but also so that my 9-year-old will be dead impressed because I'm really close to getting 500 subscribers now, and he didn't think I'd be able to get it to that. So help me out. I need about 40 of you to subscribe to me so that I can impress my 9-year-old. If you can't wait until next week to see me again, I understand. I'm pretty awesome after all. I will be here every single morning, as always, in your shorts, taking a great big deep breath, letting you know what I'm grateful for that day. Sometimes I talk about what's challenging me in that day, whatever my first morning thoughts are, really. I'm also here on a Witchy Wednesday doing an intuitive card reading. That will be going on until at least September, but I'm not sure about after that because it doesn't seem to get the same amount of interest as my other videos, especially the ones about my dog. Speaking of my dog, he has asked me to make it very clear to you that he is actually a brilliant co-worker. And yeah, sometimes he might sniff me. And yeah, from time to time he does the most noxious farts in the world. And once or twice he has fallen asleep while I'm speaking to him, but he's still a very good co-worker. And he doesn't deserve for me to call HR. See, I told him. I didn't even tell him how bad you smell. So I will see you next Monday. Until then, you have yourself a magical week.